First of all, be informed that English isn't my native language, so I apologize if I do any speech and or pronunciation errors. In this video you cover heavy topics such as pedophilia, gore, necrophilia, sexual abuse, Nazism, ableism, transphobia, and intersexism. If you don't feel comfortable with those topics being talking about, I highly recommend you to leave this video, even though I won't show any of this explicitly. And that's why I still recommend you to read this thread from Twitter, because they don't have to censor themselves, unlike me that have to do this because YouTube may take my video down. As I said before, this video is basically summarized version of the Twitter thread I have seen, so I will obviously leave the link in my description, okay? But I warn you, this thread has even more explicit graphical descriptions of these things that I will cover up, so be aware of this. To start, even before FireLadyFiszi was hired as an official artist, she already has some questionable fanart, usually a purple guy, which she named Barney Miles at the time, since we didn't have a confirmed name for him, with his dead victims. At first, it might seem like she just wanted to be edgy, but with the right context, it turns out there was actually fetish material. One of the fan arts she made of Barney and Betty, who was an MCI victim at the time, I guess, was directly inspired from a fanfiction which she was very proud to write, where she graphically depicts Barney sexually harassing the MCI and brutally murdering them. Actually just Betty, but well, I didn't read it, so I don't know for sure. And this fanart was later placed in a minimalist way at the bottom of the official art of Golden Freddy. And side note, the orange bottle has maiden, and no, it isn't good, and you know why. One post she made in DeviantART, there's a list of things she has interest in, and she admitted to have a fetish for tags like shotgun, lolicon, rape, gore involving children, and etc. And that's only the things I know for sure, but there's a whole list that again is in the thread. Another side note, she recently said that it was for just a university project, which obviously it wasn't, because why a project would need to do a research to, pedophile tags for fetish, but okay. Previously, she also claimed not understanding millennials and the weird genders. In this case, it's non-binary, and claiming that bigender would be the same thing as hermaphrodite, a pejorative term for intersex people, by the way. And she later issued an apology, but recently, to deny the pedophilia accusations, she explicitly said 2 times she was a cis woman, associated with the stereotype that transgender people are inherently predominant. More or less 15 years ago, she was in a Nazi fetish group's forums and even made art for it. Again, a little while ago, she spoke about this as well, showing little to no remorse for this age phase of hers. She was around 18 to 20 years old, so it's not a edgy teen phase, if anyone thinks that. And disgust for whoever brings this topic up. She becomes really angry if someone even tell her about this time. She can be saying she don't remember, she was just being edgy, drawing for Nazi fetish. Just to be clear, most of these things are discovered now, were years ago, but she kept getting hired to do more official art. The art of the pedophile continues until this day in products or international franchise marketed mostly on children. The encyclopedia has her art, for example. All of those Facebook fights and Tales from the Pizza Plex, her art is covered from the books, so you can't even escape these arts. It's everywhere mostly. I won't cover this topic that much, but you can see this in the thread. But It was recently discovered that Lady Fizzi was grooming someone, and possibly others as well, who knows, as well as allowing minors to interact with her violent and almost pornographic artwork, including the grotesque fanfic, which I will mention later, but I already mentioned in my other video. She has also used the art slur that mostly to people with mental disorders, especially to autists. So yeah, in a very pejorative way. In a DeviantArt post titled Barney Kills Golden Freddy, Lady Fizzi and her arch-rival, I like to call it like this, and you understand why, Pink Pills regularly debate in the public comments whether Barney had a boner while killing a child. Spoiler, both agreed that he did. Lady Fizz admitted that she wrote part of her fanfic while she was next to a kindergarten child because it was the only shaded place in the park. Another side note, both Lady Fizz and Pinky Pills were hired most likely because of begging Scott to hire them so much, even be hostile towards each other out of jealousy. Yes, jealousy. Pinky Pills even made a comic to express how upset she was because Lady Fizzy was hired again. She claimed that she could be even better than Lady Fizzy was if Scott should hire them because they're professional, they studied for this. And she was pretty upset. You can see the comic too as well. To end this video, in the previously mentioned fanfic, Lady Fizz introduced a character named Scott. You can see where this is going, right? To make a pedophile joke to Barney about opening little girls' bottles. Yes, the orange bottle that was the reference in other art. Yeah, it's the same bottle. And do I even need to explain that she made a character named after her boss to make a vile joke? Do I even need to mention that? As I said before, this video does not contain all those information that are needed to understand what she did before, what she's still doing. But I guess this explains, that covers a little more than what I did before, right? And, well, if you see the thread, please be warned again. This contains sensitive topics, and some posts even has graphically descriptive mentions of the fanfic she made, which I read. It's gross. I do not recommend you to read.